what is the connection, the genetic connection, the cultural connection between the Africans who are now in the United States and those of ancient Kemet or Egypt?
Well, it's fairly clear that the pattern of movement of people on the African continent, and it moves from...
we'll go to the map.
It moves from beginnings here in the Nile Valley beginnings,
Okay.
where the Nile River actually starts right here, and it will go down here, joined by another Nile, the blue Nile coming from Ethiopia, the white Nile coming from here, joining here and coming this way. So the migration pattern of human beings was down this river into Egypt, and then there were migration patterns over into West Africa many times, and some of the time the migration actually went from Egypt into across the top of the Sahara and into these parts. And we believe there are people here now who are quite similar, and probably, as was said in the book by Felix Du Bois, Timbuktu the Mysterious, they're probably both the culture and the genetic descendants of the people of Egypt, and they're the Dogon people here in Mali.
Let me ask you to go over that again, just to make sure that
Right.
that we get all of it.
Okay, early man begins here in this area somewhere.
And we're talking about the cultural connection, the genetic connection.
We're talking about the people first, the genetic connection, and then, of course, they carry their culture down the river. These were black people here. They carried their culture down the river before they went out and populated the rest of the earth. Then, of course, they migrated not only north, but they also migrated from here out into parts of West Africa, into the south. They then also migrated from Egypt, which is here, or Kemet, as we should call it, across the Sahara into areas of West Africa. Mali would be a case in point.
Okay. Now, some African-American parents will say, our children are maiming each other. Our children are on drugs. And here you are talking about ancient African history. Why is this relevant? How do you respond to that?
It's one of the major pieces. It's not the only piece. You can't say that if someone takes a course in chematology that they will stop drugs tomorrow. But you can say that if a group of people has no sense of being a part of the historical world, that is, if we see ourselves as mere spectators, that we just sat on the sidelines as the march of humanity went by, that has an effect on how you live your life. And one way we know this is that we watch what happens when children and adults learn this information about African people. The difference in attitude, the difference in self-esteem, self-concept, self-image, you can almost see those things change before your very eyes.
What are you
Wow.